Today's podcast is brought to you by National Carriers. National Carriers is looking for lease drivers, company drivers, team drivers, and student drivers. National Carriers is owned by their own freight, and they are 100% no-touch. Call them at 888-311-7076. That's 888-311-7076. We are also being brought to you by Cocoon MDR. Check out Cocoon MDR, where all Android apps are sold. The download is free, and it tracks you and follows you around, and it dumps money into your account as you're driving. That's all it does. It literally pays you while you're driving. It's the only app out there that really backs truckers. You Apple users on iPhone, watch for it. The app is coming out soon for Apple. That's Cocoon, Cocoon, MDR, M as in Michael, D as in David, R as in Robert. Check it out, download it, and let me know how much you're getting. I guarantee you're getting money if you have the app on your phone. All you do is give them your PayPal account, and it literally just deposits money in your account for you putting on miles. JJ Keller is our third sponsor of the day. JJ Keller is the friend of the trucker. They're like having a secretary in your back pocket. If you're a truck driver that's unorganized, especially if you're unorganized like me, and you have all the paperwork that needs to be filed every year, and it's a nightmare, DOD, DOT, drug consortium, all that stuff, everything that needs to be updated every year, hire JJ Keller. They take care of all your paperwork, and you do the rest by driving your truck. 888-601-2017. JJ Keller's number is 888-601-2017. Ruthann.
Troy, when we go on trips, when we're driving, do you have a specific food you like to munch on?
If I'm being honest, I like fruity gummy things, and I also like getting like French fries from like a fast food joint.
I have statistics from everyone.
Really?
On what they like.
Sweet.
That's what we're going to talk about.
Sounds good to me. I'm glad I don't have to do the research today. What do you got?
Well, there was over 1,000 people surveyed, drivers,
right,
on what their favorite food/meals that they like to eat while they're driving, and if it led to any tickets or accidents. And this is what they said.
You know, can I just say something?
Sure.
This is just, especially when I was a trucker, eating, this is why probably a lot of truckers put on weight. Eating helps pass the time away.
Mm-hmm.
I literally, when I was a driver, when I pulled into a truck stop, I always had like a bunch of Snicker bars with me, a giant Coke. I loved Coca-Cola. I was a Coke head. And French fries or a burger or something or whatever is at the truck stop. I'd get a little meal with some kind of little snacky snack thing to drive and eat. And that would literally pass the time away while I was driving. I truly enjoyed doing that. So it's kind of pretty cool what you're talking about here today. I wonder, is I don't know. I was going to ask.
Duh.
No. I was actually thinking about messy foods and stuff like that. I mean, I don't know. I
am surprised on some of them.
Yeah. So you got a list of actual foods that people have voted on that they like to eat the most. Is that what you got?
It's not what they necessarily like to eat. It's what they eat the most of.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. So I'm listening.
It says, despite many drivers saying that they eat behind the wheel, most respondents acknowledge that munching while motoring is a form of distracted driving. Nearly 3/4 of respondents, that's 74%, agreed with that sentiment, which was similar to our surveys in 2020, saying that it was 66%, and 19 it was 70%. So it went up a little bit more, I guess. Eating while driving isn't limited to one age group. We found that about 3/4 of every age group admitted to the habit, except one. The only group with a lower percentage was, guess the age group, Troy?
Are they old people?
No.
Tell me.
25 to 31-year-olds.
What was their response?
That they were actually the lower percentage that eat while driving. They're at 61% versus the others being over 60, like more in the 70s.
I think that's the group that's lying. I mean, come on, like they're the worst for insurance. That young crowd. Mm-hmm. They're the ones that are always on. Yeah, you know why they're not eating? Because they're always on their phone texting. Yeah, maybe that's why.
They only can do one thing with their hands, and it's usually texting.
Yeah. Or
taking selfies.
I'll be honest with you.
Or putting makeup on.
This is the truth. I mean this. When I was in my 20s, before I started, going over the road, I didn't eat a lot of food. I was more into other things, So I really didn't eat a lot of food as far as like snacking and stuff all the time.
Well, back in the Stone Age, they didn't really have that many fast food places.
Yeah, well, they had them when I was a kid. So, anyways, go ahead.
It says, drivers also believe that other motorists are snacking behind the wheel, too. About 2/3 of respondents estimated that at least 60% of other drivers eat behind the wheel. So not only are they saying, hey, yeah, I eat, but I know he is, too.
Yeah, I mean, if we're being honest, drive-thrus are like usually a mile long half the time. Why do you think a lot of the new drive-thrus have the double...
order and double lanes.
Exactly. You have the double ordering section. So there's a lot of people on the road eating food while they're driving. That's obvious. And even truck stops now are getting little drive-thrus for the tractor trailers.
Yeah, I think, though, that really kind of gets me is I don't think they really, the last 2 years, I don't think they should really get much of a survey because everybody was supposed to stay home.
Okay.
And they did.
So what'd you come up with?
All right. So topping the chart at 39% is candy bars.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
Candy bars.
Candy bars are so expensive now.
Yeah.
They're not a quarter anymore. I'm serious.
No. You can get 2 for $3 sometimes when you do the specials.
You know what I hate? I'm going to just say this. I despise, and you know my favorite candy bar?
Kit Kat.
Kit Kat. All right. I despise paying, what's the king size one? It's like $2-3, right? I despise paying that much for a candy bar and it's stale. I literally can't stand that.
Oh, I know.
It's like, my gosh, you got better ones when they were a quarter. I'm serious.
You did.
So what's next?
Next is those drive-through French fries.
French fries. There it is, buddy.
37%. Not far behind, but right there.
Well, that's actually real convenient food.
It is.
You know what I mean? It's it's in a little tray. You don't, unless you're a ketchup lover, which I don't put ketchup on my fries normally, on my fast food fries. So if you're not a ketchup lover, it's so convenient to just reach in your little thing and just eat. You know what I mean? How
many times do you grab the bag of food and you eat the French fries going down the road before you get to do anything else?
I'm just saying.
I know.
Okay. What do you got?
Next one, a breakfast sandwich.
I'm guilty of that one too.
25%.
It's probably the only time I eat at McDonald's. If I eat at McDonald's, because I'm not you know what I call them, right? Rectum rockets. Mm-hmm. Gut grenades. Mm-hmm. That's really McDonald's. But I love their breakfast sandwiches. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to deny that.
Nope, you do. Next one, at 23%, chicken nuggies.
I could see that. It's just like French fries.
Yep, nuggies.
Yep.
And then potato chips at 22%.
See, I fault anybody that's doing that. Because when you're biting potato chips, crumbs, you cannot eat a bag of chips without getting crumbs.
Oh, yes, you can, because you could shove that whole chip in your mouth. Pringles, perfect fit. Oh, right in.
Yeah, I know. But normally, if you're taking bites, you're going to crunch. And when you bite into a chip, it explodes.
See, I can't agree with you there because like when you eat your breakfast sandwich, because you get the biscuit, the crumbs get all over the seat. So, doesn't work. So, and then either way, you get the salty fingers. This next one got me.
Go ahead.
At 20%, fresh fruit.
Wow. Do you think people are just saying that? I mean, if we're being honest, they have those little cups of fruit in all the little convenience stores now.
Yeah. I mean, it's really good. The only thing I could think of is maybe like bananas. I could see eating a banana going down the road.
Yeah.
I cannot see eating oranges going down the road or something along that line because, the juice will drip down your elbows if it's a good juicy one.
Well, if you could fit a chip in your mouth, you could fit a grape in your mouth. And if we're being honest, I could see a cup of fruit, in your little cup holder where you put your coffee or your Coke.
Yeah.
I can see.
Well, they fit there.
I can see eating grapes and cherries and stuff like that.
I do agree on that. Now, the next one, I do understand because if you got fresh fruit, granola is going to fall right behind it. So granola and energy bar at 20%.
I haven't eaten one of those in 500 years. We used to pick up at, what's it called? NutraSweet? Is that what that was called? NutraSweet? Remember they made the strawberry and the blueberry breakfast bars?
Yeah, like a Nutri-Grains.
I used to get them free all the time at the plant down in, I think it was in Boyertown, Pennsylvania. So what else you got?
The next one is at 19% a hamburger, 18% donuts, 17% bagels. So far we've got your Racetrack, your McDonald's, and your Dunkin'. Then you have burritos at 12%, pizza at 12%, hot dogs at 8%, ice cream cones 7%, sandwich or sub at 5%, a wrap at 5%, muffins at 4%, tacos at 2%, yogurt at 2%, and then nachos at 2%.
And I will tell you the three things that I see being a little bit dangerous right there. When I mean dangerous, I mean mess. The nachos, the ice cream, and the yogurt.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how the hell do you? Because like if you don't, like when you get
tacos can be messy too.
Well, when you get a Dairy Queen ice cream, like we'll go to Dairy Queen, we'll take Rebecca, we pull over, and you have to have like a napkin wrapped around your cone.
It's the fastest melting ice cream in the world. It gives you brain freeze.
It does. It freezes your brain, and it runs down the cone if you're not licking fast. So I wouldn't want to be driving.
But they do puppy cones.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to do that.
Here's candy bars topped the list for the second time in 3 years. That's not came in first in 2019. And then granola energy bars were the top of the choice in 2020.
Wow. And I'm not even in that one at all. Mm-hmm. Zero.
Nope. There was a food preference difference, but depending on the gender, women preferred candy bars and French fries more than the other snacks. Men also liked the candy bars, but breakfast sandwiches were nearly as popular.
I agree.
When it comes to that, what foods to eat in the car, drivers said that they are wanting something easy. Here are the responses. All right, these are what these people...
They thought it was easy.
I will only eat foods that I like that are easy to handle while driving. 43% of the people said that.
So 43% are saying, and I agree with that. Like when I go into a place to get a snack, I'm making sure it's not going to be, seriously, really too messy going down the road. Like I wouldn't get a bowl of chili, you know what I mean, from Wendy's and drive.
No, I wouldn't either.
Okay.
I just get what's convenient that I like to eat. 15% said that. I'm just confused on why they're saying they like to eat it or that some foods that they like, because who buys food that they don't like just to eat it?
Well, the convenient ones, it sounds like they run in and whatever is like right there while they're paying for their gas or whatever the case is. If there's a banana or a thing of cookies right there at the counter, they probably just grab what's convenient and go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The next one says, I take into account how hard it will be to handle the food while also driving, but generally still get whatever I feel like eating regardless. Another 15% said that.
Okay.
15% say, I never eat or drink in my car. Another 12% say, I never eat, but I will drink in my car.
But you got to be like real picky and fussy to say, I'm never going to have food in my car. That's the same guy that probably doesn't let you wear your shoes in his car.
So when it comes to where they get their food, drivers said they prefer to pick up their car food through a drive-thru. 45% choose fast food drive-thrus as their number one source. 16% bring food from home, and 12% so they pick up a grub at a gas station or convenience store. Women especially prefer the drive-thru. 53% of women choose that source of driving munchies compared to 38% of men.
See, I got something to say about that. I agree kind of with that. I do prefer, like if I'm on the road, like, stop and get some chicken or something like that or some fries, something hot to drive with. But it also depends on when I'm doing it. You know what I mean? Like if it's 8:00 at night, right? I'm getting candy. I'm going to get something sweet along with something sugary to kind of keep me awake. If it's 4 or 5 o'clock when I want to eat, then I'm getting the meal. So whether I stop at a convenience store or, a truck stop and then run in and grab something off the shelf versus stopping in a drive-thru and getting obviously I like Wendy's because it's usually fresher food, or Burger King. I like the flame broiled burgers. So if I'm going to get that meal, it's because I'm eating a meal. But if I'm just wanting a snack while I'm driving, then I'm going to the convenience store. So it kind of...
Well, that's the next section of the
okay, good.
The thing. Why do drivers dine behind the wheel? So in the previous 2 years, drivers blamed long commutes for their dine and drive habits. However, the top reason why people eat behind the wheel this year, because most people work at home, is 1, I only eat in the car on road trips so I can keep my schedule. 22% said that.
So they're saying they only eat on the road, on road trips, you said?
On road trips so they can keep their schedule.
So they're basically saying they literally have no time to sit down and do nothing, so they're just going to combine the driving with the eating.
Because they have to get somewhere.
And they're just, okay, all right.
21% say I really don't enjoy it, but it's convenient, so they do it.
Okay, so some are saying I really don't like doing it, but because of the convenience,
right?
Because it saves me time. Okay,
right.
You know what my answer is to both of those last two? You know, when you find yourself in your life where you have no time to enjoy 5 or 15 minutes sitting by yourself and taking a break, you need to reevaluate your life. I'm serious, because that many people I know are on the go, including you. We're always on the go, and you have no time to do anything.
20% says they do it because they have a long commute.
Yeah, I agree with that one.
And 19% say, I like to save time, so I have more time at my destination. So they eat on the way so that when they get there, they don't have to do any, like, I'm going to guess those kind of people are the shoppers. They're going to eat on the way so that when they get to the mall, they just can shop. They don't have to worry about stopping at the food court to grab something to eat.
Boy, America has such weird driving habits. Go ahead. Next.
13% say, I am always rushing and don't have time to eat at home or restaurant. And the last bit, the scary part, 5% say this, I rarely cook.
That's that 25 to 31 year old crowd. Because they don't know how to cook.
So, you want to hear the next section?
Sure.
How often do drivers eat while driving? Nearly half said they do. They only chow while cruising when they're going on long road trips. So 46% say only on trips that are an hour or more. 25%.
That doesn't even make sense. So if they know they're going to be driving for an hour or more, they know they're going to eat. But if it's only a half hour, they won't eat. That's weird. Okay, good.
Once or twice a week, said 25%. 14% say they never do it while driving. 8% say once or twice a day. And then another 8% said more than twice a week. So men admit to eating and driving more often than women. 21% of men and 6% of women say they eat and drive daily. Females are much more likely to say they only eat and drive on trips of more than an hour or more. 58% of women and 34% of men.
I believe that. I absolutely believe that. Is that it, or do you have more?
No, we have more.
Oh, let's hear it.
We're getting to the juicy stuff, the tickets and the accidents.
Okay, let's hear it.
So eating while driving may satisfy your hunger, but it can also lead to dangerous driving tickets and accidents. It's when that tomato or the pickle slides out your burger and lands on your lap.
So you can get a ticket, because of the eating.
I don't believe you can get.
Well, they're saying it could lead to it.
Well, it could lead to tickets and accidents because you could be eating and
it's distraction. It's a distraction.
Exactly.
And I will say,
speeding and not paying attention because you're munching that French fry.
I'll say this: I've never, that I can remember, almost had an accident while driving, unless you drop something and you got to reach for something. You know what I'm saying?
The lid comes off your Coke and you're going, ah!
That sucks. And I got to admit, you're right.
Or the slice of pizza that you were just munching, the cheese just slid.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Or like I said, you're like, okay, I need salt. This tastes too bland. And you're reaching, and you always put it too far away, and you're reaching, or it's in the back seat and you're reaching back there. You know, I mean, I have done that. So.
I don't know. Most fries come really salty.
Yeah.
So I don't know about that.
Okay.
But I do know all those other incidences.
Go ahead.
So.
What's the answer?
The good news is that more than 1/2 of drivers said they never had an accident, a near miss, or received a ticket because of eating while driving. So,
can I say something real quick before you go on with that? I believe that. You know why? Because unlike talking on your phone or texting where your eyes are focused somewhere else, you know where your mouth is. You know what I'm saying? When you have your food sitting,
muscle memory.
it really is. You're driving, you're watching going down the road. You're not really looking away while you're munching. If you have your food set up right to where like you have a burger on I put it on my lap, right, and my fries in a little
in the cup holder,
in the cup holder or whatever, right,
or dumped in the bag,
and your drink is right there or dumped in the bag. So your hand knows exactly where to go. You don't have to be looking for your food if you have it right there. So I believe that most people don't have almost accidents because, like I said, bringing food to your mouth, I mean, if you're missing, then you might want to go back and get on the bottle and learn how to eat again. But most people...
Save the sloppy burger, that Big Mac, save that for when you're parked.
Yeah, no, that's true. Something like a Big Mac, them things fall apart. You need two hands. You need to drive at your knees.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I've seen you doing that.
Okay.
So I've never had an accident, come close to one, or received a ticket. 59% said that, down from the 70% in 2020 survey. So in
2020, 70% said it, and now it's 59.
Right. So it did go down. Had a near miss. 15% of the survey said that they had a near miss while eating.
That's the guy that dropped a French fry on the floor and looked down for it and then came up and went, oh.
Or their soda lid popped right when they were picking it up and they had to jump.
You know what? That is. I blame that on the damn clerk handing it to you. The little window people. You know, they don't put that lid on right, and you get a good grip on it, like you said, and all of a sudden you're wearing part of your Coke. Yeah.
All right. Got into a fender bender with damages under $2,000. What do you think that statistic number is?
I don't know. So they did get it. They blamed the food.
They got in
So it sounds like when you say fender bender, it sounds like they rear-ended somebody.
Damages under $2,000. So something happened where...
What was it percent?
12.
Hey, that's pretty huge.
That's pretty big for it. Yeah, I think.
That's somebody who don't know how to eat and drive.
Gotten a major with damages over $2,000.
That could be remember the people that sued McDonald's for having the coffee too hot and they spilled it on their lap and they got like millions of dollars. Mm-hmm. I mean, it could be, or like you said before, maybe you start choking on something, you know, and next thing you know.
I don't think I said that, but I do see.
I thought you said you choke on something in the beginning.
No, I don't think I did, but you know, it happens. 6% did that. 6% got into a major accident with damages over $2,000 from eating.
Wow.
Yeah. Got pulled over by police for a traffic violation.
What? So they said to the cop, listen, I was reaching from a Big Mac. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to run that light. I didn't see it.
You never know. Speeding, like you said, light, stop sign, any of that. 4%. 4% got distracted while eating.
They put some kind of hot sauce on my burrito, and I was trying to get there. No way.
The pizza bite was too hot. The cheese blistered my lip.
Yeah. So they got tickets and blamed it on the food.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Men were more apt to have a food-related traffic incident. More than half of men said they had some type of food-related traffic issue.
So men are worse than women.
Yes. So here they gave it broken down.
But it also said that we eat more. Women were eating less unless it was over an hour, you said. So we are guilty of eating more while we're driving, so we're going to be more.
So the near misses, 21% men, 7% women. The fender benders, 19% men, 3% women.
All right.
Major accidents, 9% men, 3% women. Pulled over, 6% men, 1% women. Drive off lane or on the road, 4% men, 7% women. Women cannot handle the two things at one time.
Oh, yeah. Wow. That's interesting.
Okay. Here's their most distractive moment while they're eating their food.
Okay.
So, for the third straight year, unwrapping food remains the biggest driving distraction for behind the wheel chowers. So 30% of the people, the most distractive part they get is when they're unwrapping that burger.
That's funny. That actually is so true. You're trying not to, because you know what happens half the time.
You got to do it right, or it's going to spill out.
Well, you got to blame it all. Again, I'm going to blame it onto the McDonald's people or the Burger King people, because half the time you open your burger up, it's like the lid's shifted. Yeah, it's almost like the lid was top heavy and you had a load shift or something on your burger. So you're watching to make sure nothing falls out of the paper.
Yeah, you have to do it right so that you have a little cup in the back.
So we can blame McDonald's on that, not the driver.
Well, It's still distracting them.
So they're blaming the distraction on unwrapping. 30%, you said?
30%
Wow.
on unwrapping the food. Wiping a spill or stain.
Yeah, there you go. There's
that ketchup that dropped on your shirt.
Or that cup lid that came off. Yeah.
23%
Wow.
is the most distracting moment for them.
Good.
Reaching for something, like Troy said, a salt packet, napkin, or a stray fry at the bottom of the bag.
That's it right there, man. You know it's there.
I hear that shaking in there. Where is it at?
It's that little crunchy one. You know, like you're reaching.
I don't like the crunchy ones.
Well, you see, you're taking the French fries. This is the truth. If you're a French fry eater, you guys know what I'm about to say. If you leave your cup of French fries in the bag, you know there's one or two that spilled out.
Oh, you know, more than one or two.
So it's almost like they're the reserve fries. It's true. They're the reserves.
They're the ones that you don't want to eat. You're full already, and you're like, man, I just know there's some in there.
Well, right. And then you say, man, I hate to waste. So you get all the fries down, right? And you know the backups are down there. And you go searching for
cold ones.
And I got to admit it, you're right. And what really sucks is
they taste horrible.
When your wife is with you and she grabbed those reserves and you didn't know it, there's the distraction because your hand's in the bag going, where the hell are they? I know they're there. And there you are with a big smile on your face and a little bit of salt trail on your lips.
Wiping my fingers off.
Exactly. And I'm like, hey, wait a second. There was two in there. And you're like, yeah, I just ate them. See, you're part of the reason. Go ahead.
That's 22%.
Yeah.
So stashing the trash, food wrappings, and containers, napkins in the car somewhere.
So cleaning up.
So cleaning up and throwing in the back seat for the French fry monster.
How many?
13%.
They say that? Okay.
Putting salt, ketchup, salsa, or other condiments on your food.
I always ask you to do it for me.
Yeah.
If you're with me, Ruthann, make up my burger.
Yep. And that's 11%.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, believe it. So eating while driving and distracted driving laws. Eating behind the wheel can distract you from the road, and distracted drivers can be deadly. The Governor's Highway Safety Association said distracted driving led to 3,142 deaths, or 8.7% of total traffic fatalities in 2019. That was a 10% increase over the previous year. And it's amazing because people weren't supposed to be going around anywhere. Nearly all states have laws against texting and talking and on the cell phone while driving. 48 states and the District of Columbia have texting bans, and 37 states don't allow drivers to use cell phones. States don't have as many laws specifically against eating while driving. Washington is a state that made it illegal to drive while eating or applying makeup. Well,
I was just thinking about the applying makeup.
Yeah,
you know how many
that
times
needs to be like nationwide.
I guarantee you, every trucker has seen some lady driving down the road with the thing in her hand, trying to put the thing. You know,
that's called mascara.
Yeah, whatever.
You're motioning.
Doing the eyes.
He's motioning mascara.
Yeah.
See,
I've seen that several times.
I've never done that. I will put like chapstick or something like that
while
on.
you're driving?
Yeah. I usually do it while...
That's muscle memory.
I can do chapstick, but I don't do anything else.
But you shouldn't have to look in a mirror for chapstick.
No. I just slather that stuff on and there I am.
Well, no, we're just talking about the
whole thing.
The ladies that are in the mirror doing their makeup, their entire face going down the road.
Well, here's the thing. In Washington, if drivers are caught eating behind the wheel, they face a $136 ticket for the first offense, $234 for the second, and please also notify car insurance companies, which can lead to higher insurance rates.
Stop there. So you're saying the state of Washington has a no eating policy in the vehicle.
And makeup.
Well, the makeup, I agree. But so you're saying if you're in Washington,
right,
and you're cruising out the road, eating a Snickers, and drinking a Coke, you can get $100 and some ticket.
It doesn't say drinking; it just says eating. So I don't know. That one I would say is a really touchy subject there.
That's something. So you got to make sure your damn hamburger's down. Boy, I bet you the drive-thrus are... Wow, you know what? If a cop really wanted to be a jackass...
He'd be parked like down the street from the drive-thru watching the people pulling out.
Just wait for the guy pulling out of McDonald's, man. We could have a ticket all day
calling to his partner. Okay, you've got a red passport. Just pull it out of McDonald's.
Yeah, it's Ruthann's. No, that's too funny, though. I mean, I didn't know that, so that is insane. So you guys that are up in Washington, or you drivers that are heading to Washington, guess what? Be careful while you're eating and driving. They're going to get you.
It says, though many states don't explicitly target eating while driving, consuming a meal while motoring could be against distracted driving and reckless driving laws. In California, police can cite you for reckless driving if you are caught eating while behind the wheel. Georgia also tickets drivers for eating while driving.
California and Georgia, they're pricks. I'm not gonna pull any punches with those people in Georgia. I got 2 super speeder tickets, and they were. I don't mind getting the ticket because I was 15 over. All right, I'm gonna say it.
Weren't you 20 over?
Whatever. I was over 15. All right, it was over 15. All right. Wait, so 20's over 15. But anyways, you don't have to be a jackass about it when you pull me over. Okay. Mm-hmm. You don't have to be. You could just be. I'm sorry, sir. You're getting a ticket today. I'm saving your life. You need to slow down. Take your ticket and move on. Take it to court if you want to, but you don't have to be rude while you're giving me a ticket. That's what I didn't like about the Georgia cops. I mean, if I'm being honest,
hey, they got to get their money for their road somewhere, right?
I know, but you don't have to be. You don't have to be like walking almost like you're gonna, license and registration, boy. This is Cobb County.
Cobb County?
Never heard of the Cobb County. Never mind.
No. Okay. Anyways, moving on. So, distractive driving with your insurance rate increase. Excuse me. If your annual car insurance is $1,300, an increase of 22% is what can happen. Wow. So that could be $286 additional dollars a year.
Smackaroos.
That breaks down to an extra $24 a month. If you could also lose good or safe driver discounts, which are usually worth about 10 to 25% of your deductions. So if you end up getting a ticket for distractive driving, it could end up having a 22% increase on average to your insurance. And that includes texting or speeding tickets. So if you get a speeding ticket and they said it was because you're a distractive driver, you not only just got that speeding, but you also got a distractive driver.
Wow. Hey, listen, let's just say this, okay? We're a trucker family, and people that listen to this podcast are 99% truckers families. And if we're being honest, the good truck drivers, they don't do that stuff. They don't go down the road and get distracted while driving. They're not texting. The eating thing, again, I don't see a problem with eating. It's just like a CB, Ruthann. You know what I mean? I don't think a CB is distracting. I know there's some trucking companies that don't allow CBs, believe it or not. There's some small companies that have a no CB. Kind of crazy. But anyways, I will say good job on that podcast, Ruthann. That was a neat article you pulled up, and I hope America's driving habits are probably going to change because of your podcast. I doubt
maybe in Washington. All right, so I got my word of my day.
Okay, word of the day. We're going to move on and move out.
Well,
Go ahead.
I don't want to distract
Word
people
Genius.
too much.
This is Word Genius.
WordGenius.com.
Yeah, look them up and get the word of the day. Get smart like Ruthann. She gets it every day.
I do. Ready for it?
Sure. Go ahead.
Inveterate.
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 INVETTER.
INVETERATE.
Okay.
Inveterate.
What does it mean?
It means having a particular habit, activity, or interest that is long established and unlikely to change.
Having a particular habit in which most people, they get in the habit, it is hard to change.
Yep.
So they're inveterates? Mm-hmm. Really? Let's hear a sentence.
After living in Washington, D.C. for decades, Walt had an inveterate set of political beliefs. April had an inveterate longing for a lavish wedding. So in other words, her dream for a long time, her particular...
That's pretty cool. So if you know somebody that, I like the slang that you can use with that word. If you know somebody that it's hard for them to change, they got a habit, certain habits, just look at them and say, you're such an inveterate. Inveterate.
So they're going to think
put a slang on it.
They're going to think that
inveterate.
They're going to think that they're an inventor or something like that.
You're such an inveterate. No, it almost sounds like an inveterate.
No, N. Inveterate.
You're such an inveterate.
Well, you're putting
I'm putting a little southern slang on it.
Inveterate.
Yeah.
Inveterate.
Now listen, the way that you should say it when you're saying something to somebody with an exclamation point, you say, "You damn inveterate."
Sorry. All I keep thinking is how many times that we have to do certain things because we're just so stuck in our habit of doing it.
All right.
Your mom and dad, when they kiss each other goodbye.
Oh, I know. They kiss and they say this thing for 50 years.
Yeah.
They say the same thing for 50 years.
They're this December, they're going to be married 51 years.
Oh, that's crazy.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
So, anyways.
You drivers, I want you to stay safe out there. All right. We're just about, Lord willing, back to normal. Masks are off. The country's doing well. And we need you guys to stay safe. Deliver that freight and get home to see your loving families, men and women both. Ruthann, we're out of here.
Peace.
Peace. Praise the Lord.